So welcome to the session on practical process of starting a business with what you have. With what you have could be your knowledge, could be your current skills, could be your current savings, your current money, your current network. Just starting from where you are with what you have, but with a beautiful dream. Somebody defined a startup, I think Eric Rice in his book, The Lean Startup. He defined a startup as building a beautiful company under limited resources and difficult circumstances. Like in your mind, you know that this company tomorrow will become so beautiful and so incredible. But at this particular moment, you are building it from a very difficult situation. You are building it under limited resources. You don't have the right capital. You don't have the right knowledge. You don't have the right many things, but you are still building. You are still having a strong dream, and you have this strong conviction that what you are building will definitely go places. That is building a startup. And there are four practical principles that I want to share with us that you can take into play when building a startup business. Number one is the bird in hand principle. The bird in hand principle. You know, this is a principle that if you're thinking of starting a business and you don't have the external capital that you need, and I've always emphasized, you um, you don't need external money to start a business. You need external money to grow a business. It is very risky for you to borrow money to start a business, especially a business you have never done before. Because when you're starting any initiative or any business, especially, there is a 98% chance that that business will fail. So it becomes dangerous for you to start a business with borrowed money. If the business fails, you'll be going through two depressions. The failure of the business will depress you, and the debt, the money you borrowed to pay back is gone. You'll be thinking of, how do I repay back the money? And you're going through the troubles of losing a business or failing in business, or the troubles of failure. So that's why it's important that when you're starting a business, start with what you have, or start what you have with the money you have, the resources you have first. Test it, have some track record. Only borrow money as a loan or whatever to put into something that you have proven track record, and you know that this can go to the next level based on the results you have been able to see right away. So the bird in hand principle talks about you starting with what you have. This is the stage where you list your resources. That business you have in mind right now, list all the resources that you have. And these resources can be in four levels. Number one, list who you are. Try to understand your personality and abilities. Oh yes, it's very important. If you're starting a business and you're starting a business and you know that you are a person who never gives up easily, write it down. That is an ability that is important in business. If you're starting a business and you know that you're a good, you have the attitude of remaining positive in the midst of difficulties, put it down. But the first resource that you need to make sure you have is the resource of who you are. Establish your personality and your abilities. Are you a persistent person? Write it down. Are you a never give up person? Write it down. Are you good at taking risks? Are you good at venturing into the unknown and believing that you're going to make it work? Write it down. You need that in business. So starting from what you have includes your personality, your abilities, or in other words, includes who you are. When you start a business, you can never replace your personality in business with money. You can never do that. Money is critical in any initiative you're starting, but who you are, the kind of personality that you embody is more critical in starting a business, growing a business, and succeeding in a business. Even those who have been in business for a while already, check your personality. Do you have the personality of growing a business? Do you have the personality of expanding that particular business? The second element under this principle number one that you need to look at under the bird in hand principle is what you know. What you know. You need to ascertain what you know. Now, we're talking here about your level of education, knowledge, and skills. What do you know concerning that particular business? And this way you understand that when someone wants to start a business and they come to me for coaching, one of the first questions I ask them is, do you have a background knowledge in this area? The kind of coaching I give somebody who is venturing into a new business that they have never done before is different from the coaching I can give somebody who has been doing that same business before, or who the parents were in that same business, or if they have volunteered in that same business. Those are two different people who can make the business work with different access to what they know. But research has shown that anybody venturing into business, when they have background knowledge in that business, when they have background education in that business, or when they have the right skills that that business needs, they have a very high chance of succeeding. For example, if you're venturing into fashion, for example, and you did tailoring yourself, you have practically learned how to make dresses yourself. I want to run a fashion business. That is an important resource that you can write. I have the vocational skills of tailoring. But there are people who are venturing into the fashion setting and they want to hire tailors and pay them to make the dresses. Now, those are two separate people. But do all of them have the potential of making that business succeed? Yes, they do. But the person venturing into that business who learned the tailoring skill itself has a higher chance of succeeding, actually, because they already have one of the most important resources, which is the skill itself. So the education and the skill here goes to talk about your hard skills and your soft skills. Let's take, for example, let's say like Nelly, for example, she runs a restaurant. When she wanted to start a restaurant, if she was good at cooking and she was writing a business plan, or she was drafting her startup budget or whatever, writing that she can cook herself is a resource, is a bird in hand, than somebody who wants to venture into restaurant business and doesn't know how to cook and is fully depending only on hiring another cook to come and cook for the person. They don't have the resource, the hard skill of cooking. So if you're thinking of starting a business, establish your resource of education and skill. Like, for example, if you're starting a business and you read business management in the university, or you're starting a business and you have gone through a short program on business startup and management, it helps you to manage a business better, and that is a okay. So let us look at the next thing that you need to look at is who you know. That is your network. Oh yes, when you're starting a business, looking at your network becomes critical. Your network is very important in business. There are many people that will start a business and struggle because the quality of their network is weak, so they cannot really get help. They cannot really get help. But you know, if you're starting a business and you have a wide network that you can reach out to people and ask for advice and ask for uh, uh, um, let's say just business registration example, and you have somebody in your network that can ask advice. Oh, how is business registration done? Where is it done? What should I prepare? That is a resource. Some people, they will have to pay transport, go there, lose money in transport, or they will have to pay a consultant to tell them what to do and not to do and all of that. You see, so the quality of your network, when you're starting a particular business, look at your network. Who across my network can help me with what in this particular business? And the fourth thing is where you now jot down what do you have as far as money and asset are concerned. Money and assets. We're still under the bird in hand principle, where you're analyzing what you have. So now look at the money. Okay, I want to start this business. How much do I practically have as money? What do I have concerning equipment or any other asset that can contribute to this business? Or even go further, what assets do I need and who in my network can I beg the asset from? Of course, I've emphasized several times, when you're building a business, you cannot build a business and be proud at the same time. You will need to keep your ego and pride aside and be okay to beg at your beginning stages. You can beg if you know that your friend has and they can help you with it. Go and ask for help. It is important. Many people get to allow their dreams of starting a business or even an initiative stuck because they have not really sat down to analyze what do they have in hand is critical for their business. So that is the bread and hand principle. Analyze who you are, that is your personality and your abilities. Analyze what you know, write it down, that is your knowledge, education, and skills. Analyze who you know, that's your network, who across your network can help you with what. It could be advice, information, equipment, whatever, write it down. The next is analyze your assets. What do you have personally? What is in your savings? Which other assets do you have in your house that you can convert to a business asset? It could be a computer in your house, a laptop, and you know that your business needs to convert it. It could be a television in your house. You can take it from the house to a business space. It could be a one room in your house that you can convert into an office for that business. You look at whatever that is available that you have been using for personal use, but you can convert to your business use, which would definitely now help you to start that particular business. So at this part, with this particular principle, you're exploring all the viable ideas, you're exploring all the viable resources, both soft and hard resources, equipment and money, networks and all of that, to see how you can pick them and use them diligently in your startup stage. Then you can use this and get building immediately. Like, how did I start my training center? CellBMD Africa is the oldest subsidiary under Costem Group. We started in 2012, example. How did I start it? The day, I remember that day vividly, the day I wanted to start CellBMD Africa as a training center, I remember it very clear. All I had in my position at that time was, I think, 2,500. That's all I had. So when I did, I was writing the whole concept down. Okay, I established, okay, I have where I can make a space. That same day I left and I crossed to the next quarter where the space was supposed to be. And I asked this guy I used to go and study computers, how to repair computers. So I went there And I asked him that, okay, I want to start this program to train young people. And now, can you borrow me your space to use in the uh, uh, um, in the evenings only? That was the deal, because he had this training program that would run. He used to teach students Microsoft software, Microsoft, all of these softwares and all of that. And he would teach them in the morning, for example, and then in they will come in the morning and they leave at 12. And then throughout the rest of the day, he's working on customers' activities, repairing computers, and so on and so forth. And then he normally closes by 4 o'clock or so. He starts closing, or things start facing out from the office. When that is done, that's when I come in now to now borrow, um, you know, the space. I now use the space from 4 to 6 or to 6:30. And that was how I was able to do that. I want to look for the pictures of that space and show you something so you see. So that was how we started the training center. So all I needed was a space to start. Then from there, I needed to recruit students, for example. I needed to recruit students. So I now went and I met this guy who was the documentation. And I said, hey, I need you to, to type this and design for me, print for me so I can go and share. I'll pay you in 1 week. Did I have the money to pay? Of course not. But my belief was that I will raise money from people who will register for the program. That's one thing with business, right? You need to take that particular bold step and see how you can make things to happen. And luckily, of course, that's where I could only go and ask that from somebody I know. You see, you cannot just ask from anybody. I could only ask that from somebody I know. So I asked this guy, of course, he accepted, and we got to work. And that is how, he printed the flyers and all of that. And I went around and shared. And then I knew a couple of pastors, Presbyterian pastors, some priests, Catholic priests, Baptist pastors of Pentecostal churches. Okay, I reached out to them. Well, I'm starting this program. Please, can you read this announcement in your churches? And of course, do that. You see, that's why I tapped into the whole stuff, and I was doing that. And then I went now the next day, I had to go and make sure I do the legal stuff for the center. I now went to the divisional delegation for Ministry of Vocational Training, went to the DO's office and start the registration process for all of that. And that was where I spent money to buy fiscal stamp for 1,000 to put on the files and all of that. And I submitted, boom. And that's how we went operational. You see, as simple as that. Where are those center old pictures? Can't find them again. They're somewhere. You see, so sometimes you just need to look at what you have around you that you can take advantage of and begin to implement so you can produce a result, right? So that was that's a typical example of a bird in hand principle. And you start, and then you push it forward, and from there you start doing what is called bootstrapping. You start doing bootstrapping. And bootstrapping is where you start saving, you can be saving a part of the profit that coming from whatever you're doing, so you can reinvest it back into the business. Like me, for example, about last year or so, anything that comes as far, even to today's majority of the profit I still make still goes back into cost. Majority of it, more than 80% still goes back into it. That there are certain things I cannot still broadly just do with money anyhow. Even if you have with 10,000 francs, I will still think that it will giving you. Majority still goes back into. I'm still bootstrapping. I'm still swelling the capital as much as I can, because that's what I've been doing for the past 10 years. Swelling the capital. If I make 10,000 francs profit today, know that roughly 9,000 goes back into the business, and I get to live for 1,000 francs. You see, so you keep on pushing and reinvesting all of that. And that was how I did all of that until I was able to, let me see, I was able to set up our own training center where different young people will come and use as a space, and people are even renting and all of using it for different programs. Yeah, so that was the process to me starting the training center and all of that. And that is a good example of a bird in hand principle. It helps a lot. It prevents you from always waiting for your dreams when it's going to manifest. That time will never come. As I always say, if you're waiting for the right amount of money, for the right time, for the right resources, you're going to wait forever. Because immediately money comes to your hand, you always have other family issues to even sort out. So just start where you are and get to work so that you can build gradually, one step at a time. The second principle on the practical process of starting a business with what you have is what is called the mistakes principle. The mistakes principle. Yes, there is no way if you're planning on starting a business, you're planning on avoiding mistakes, or you're thinking of being perfect, or you're planning to get everything perfect before you start or before you go to the market. There is no way you're going to avoid mistakes. You will make mistakes, many of them actually, many of them. That's why it's important to know that at the startup stage, you need to know and accept the fact that you will make a lot of mistakes. And then you accept it as part of the business. It's part of the business. And when starting a business, making mistakes quickly as possible is a gift. Yes, mistakes at the startup stage are a gift. Very big gift for you. Presently, we run very efficient programs as a training institution, not because of anything, because of the many mistakes I made at the beginning trying to run the center. But today we are more effective. We create more impact across the world. We are more profitable than it used to be. The center has now employees dedicated just to the training that we run. That was not the case. I used to do basically everything. But if we are a bit efficient now, it's thanks to the mistakes that I made at the startup stage, starting with nothing but in hand and just doing what I can do in the process, just bulldozing and going forward. And 10 years from now, the center is only going to be more efficient and a better institution because of the mistakes we are making today. That's why in business, enjoy making mistakes and progressing. In business, you will want to make, you will want mistakes as quickly as possible. The more mistakes you make is a sign that you are progressing. It's a sign that you're taking action. It's a sign that you are not settling. It's a sign that you're trying new things and pushing your mind forward and creating a better market for your business. So be okay with the mistakes principle because they make you learn quickly. And it's an important principle because with the mindset of an entrepreneur, each bad news in business, each mistakes in business, or each failure in business gives you a clue of something new. It could be a clue of how you could have done it better. It could be a clue of how you could have made the product better. It could be a clue of a potential new market. It could be a clue. Mistakes are just a blessing in business. You see some things that you would have never seen them if you did not fail. Mistakes can enable you to create a new market. So when a business gives you mistakes, create lessons. When a startup business gives you mistakes, create a new product. When a startup business gives you mistakes, create a new policy and system. Let me tell you something. Some of my best business policies and principles, some of my best business lessons came from the place of mistakes and so many failures. if I'm a better coach today, it's because of the so many numerous failures I went through. Oh yes, I have businesses that have failed. I tried to run a paperback company. Like when the government banned, 2001, 2013, or a few years ago, when the government banned plastic papers on the market, I came to Bermuda and learned how to make paperback so that I would go and start up a business to make paperbacks and supply to shops in Kumbu. I paid money, came to Bermuda, learned, went back, started. It did not go. It failed. It totally failed. Then another business that I tried to do in Kumbu and it also failed was, and I don't think I've abandoned that business, was, I saw that thing just now somewhere. Another thing that I tried to do and it failed was to run okay, yes, I think I showed you guys this someday, an Okada insurance scheme, an insurance scheme for Okada people, right? Yes, and it failed, and I lost money. I think I started this for this idea to work. I think I started with about 300,000 francs. You see, this is the business idea. Okada. So the idea was, let me start it under BMD Africa, and then as a project, test it first, see how it goes. Then when it's growing, I now convert it to an independent insurance firm or company. That was the concept. You see, look at the funny, this is a flyer that I designed using a Microsoft Publisher, I think. You see, way 2014 or so, Okada Sustainability Scheme project, empowering commercial motorcyclists to be sustainable, all of that. This, I and my team in the market, from Okada Park to another, convincing Okada guys to join and register. And we had clients, we had people that registered. I think the registration fee was 500 francs or so, and so on. Let me see, there's even a register. There's even a register that we created and all of that. Oh my goodness. So we did a lot of stuff, you see, and the importance of documentation. One thing I learned at a very early time was learning how to document stuff. You see, this is the folder of that startup. You see, this is a folder, Okada Sustainability Program. Announcement I sent to churches and Okada groups, flyers that we printed, see pictures of us in the market, in garages and all of that, talking about it. And it was money that I took from the center, what's called bootstrapping. Bootstrapping also means that you can have an idea, you can have new ideas. But if an idea, for you to fund a new idea, you need to make sure that your primary idea is operating right and making money in a way that you can fund the next idea. So it was profit from the training center that I used to finance this Okada insurance scheme, although it failed. But we got clients and so on. And let me see, what's this all about? Okay, we got clients and people, Okada people registered and so on. And we are going, what I think one of the major things that killed the idea was lack of a good team. I did not have a good team to believe in the idea. And I think I was not yet very experienced enough to run two businesses at a time. You see, so all of those things also count. That's what, it was a good idea because we had clients who registered already. I think we had about 30 something Okada people that registered. That list is somewhere. You see, so we had proven the market. And where you see here, this is, so one of the concepts said that if your tire got bad and you need to replace a new one, we buy a new one for you. So this is a client that we bought a new tire for the bike. You see, so we actually went ahead to serve a customer and complete our process. And this change alone, you know, kind of people talk a lot. This guy went and spread the news and more came and registered and all of that. They were surprised that, oh, these guys were actually serious. So they actually bought me a new tire. Oh, yes, we did it. You see, so it was a good idea that could go places if I was more experienced and of course had a good team to make it work. You see, so, but the mistakes that we learn from this kind of businesses, like personally for me, failing in all of these businesses, losing money in the process, have made me a better entrepreneur today. It has made me a better consultant today. and so on. I wanted to look for that paper bag. Do I see that paper bag business idea somewhere? So you see the paper bags we used to make. And of course, did we ever sell one? Yes, I think we sold some to a church. Yeah, a church that was doing an anniversary, they ordered some paper bags and we sold a few copies to them. Oh man, business is good. All right, so you see, that is it. So the mistakes principle is very important. You cannot build a better business from scratch. It's not possible. It's not possible. You can, I mean, you cannot build a better business from scratch without making mistakes. So you need, and if you're avoiding mistakes, if you have not started because you don't want to fail, you will never start. And that's why you're procrastinating your own success. When you don't embark on anything because you're afraid to fail, you're procrastinating your chances of ever succeeding at anything. So start and be okay with failing, but don't let failure become your identity. In every failure, pick a lesson. In every failure, create a better product. In every failure, create a better service offer. In every failure, design a policy. In every failure, design a system. As I was saying, many of my business systems and policies, I have written them from the place of failure. I have written them from the challenges I've gone through in trying to run a business. So for many of you that you are still sitting on the fence, or you have even started, but you're not putting in all your best in that business because you're sitting on the fence, you're not doing yourself any good. Put in all your best as much as you can. Push it forward. Be okay with failing, but fail forward. In business, a true entrepreneur fails forward. You don't fail and you give up. You fail forward. You fail and keep building until you get the right things. There are some of you right now that the business that will change your life, you have never even started it. The one you're running right now, thinking that that is your business, may not be a business actually. It's just a means to an end. It's just a training ground. Maybe the real business that will change your life and make you a successful entrepreneur, you are still to stumble on it. But you will only stumble on it if you are doing the current one and failing and growing. Do you understand? So don't also feel that is a perfect business. No. Many of you may have not yet started with your perfect business yet. Some of you may have started already. And you need to keep failing in that particular business so that you can make it better, build a better structure around it that will become sustainable and make it to grow. Beautiful. If you are learning something powerful, indicate in the chat box. What have you learned so far? Tell us in the chat box. What have you learned? Tell me in the chat box what you have learned so far. Give me a testimony. You've learned about failing forward? Yes. Failure is a good teacher. Yes, mistakes as a gift in a startup phase. Yes, they are part of your investment in the startup phase. Yes, documenting ideas, documenting your process or your ideas is very important. Yes. Beautiful. Good, let's proceed. Let's look at principle number 3 when it comes to starting a business with what you have. See this thing that I'm teaching, if many people get it right and get to work, give them 2 years. They'll be running very incredible businesses and doing so well. Principle number 3 on the practical process to starting a business with what you have. Avoid all or nothing mentality. Avoid all or nothing mentality. Avoid all or nothing mentality. One thing that is killing people in business is, even for those who have started already, they want to embark on something. Their mind is either I make profit or I don't make profit. So when they see that there is a possibility of them not making profit, they just back out. That is the all or nothing mentality, which is a very bad mentality in business. There's something in business called affordable loss principle. Matured entrepreneurs go for affordable loss principles. There are certain things you do in business and you're willing to go through that loss, but you still do it. Let's say, for example, let me give you an example. If we need, let's say, food now for a PPA event, and we talk to Nelly through our restaurant to supply us food. But if our budget is not enough, an immature entrepreneur doesn't know how to analyze many things, will just refuse. Since I'm not making profit, I am not doing it. And you're at the startup stage. You don't have large customer base. You don't have a name. You don't have a brand. You don't have many things that you think that can make you. An established restaurant can make that kind of decision because people always come to them to buy and order their services. But at the startup stage, you need to avoid all or nothing mentality. If I'm not making profit, I'm not doing it. Let's take Nelly, for example. She may accept to do the event just to cover cost without making profit for the business or for herself. Or she can even do that to the extent that she's the one paying her own transport. Maybe the money we give her can only buy food. But for her to come to the event and serve, she will need to use her own transport to come. Now, she can decide and accept to go through that affordable loss, but for a greater good. Affordable loss of, you know what, okay, let me go. In that event, there will be other entrepreneurs and CEOs coming to that event. So in that event, I will share my card to everybody. Now, that's an affordable loss to build a network or build a better brand so people can know you. Oh, at that event, yes, I'm going to make losses, but you know what? I will have 5 minutes to present my restaurant and our catering services. Affordable loss with a benefit. Oh, you see, at that event, people will know me. I'll meet people one-on-one. I'll give my contacts to people and I'll get contacts of other people. Affordable loss with a benefit. That's the meaning of avoiding all or nothing mentality and be okay with affordable loss. Affordable loss for the startup means this loss that you can incur without it affecting your business or your capital. You incur the loss, but the business still functions, but there are benefits attached to it. But these are non-financial benefits. There are benefits that in the long run, they can bring financial benefits. So let us avoid, you cannot be trying to start a business and you're having just all or nothing mentality. That is the beginning of failure. You see, like I used to do that a lot. At the beginning stages of my training career, for example, I used to go and travel, pay my transport, and go speak in events for free. No matter how good I was, if nobody knew me, if nobody has seen me teaching, they would never hire my services. That's an affordable loss. Paying my transport, go teach for free and come back, that was an affordable loss. So that I could expose myself, get more contacts, let more people know what I can do and what I can bring to the table. Many of you are still stranded because you are claiming, so you are claiming to only, you only show up when they are paying you well. You don't want to compromise. When you are still a startup, when nobody knows you, when you have nothing to show for really, you have no brand. You wanna charge the same way like people have been in the same sector for 10 years are charging. Who are you now? Who knows you? What do you have to show for? You need claim now, is it? Many people nowadays, they claim a lot. You know that the PPA Academy, the PPA Summit, something happened. I reached out to one guy who was actually my student. I said, hey man, he's a musician. I said, I want you to come and sing for me. The guy asked me, how much will you pay? And the guy is still starting. He's still in his early days of his career. I said, I want you to come and sing for me. I have an event, I want you to come and sing. The guy said, how much am I giving? What am I paying? I was planning to give him something actually. And the guy said, I should give him 100,000 francs to come and sing. I said, okay, I don't 100,000 francs to give you, but I still want you to come and sing. He said, no, boss, I'm not coming. But that's somebody that sings. After that event, he put me and said, the event has happened already. I said, yes. I said, no, I have to come and sing for me. I didn't tell you I didn't ask you, how much can I pay you to come and sing? You see? And he He said, no, here at the end we were talking, and I said, you see, since last year, since November to today, I've not staged on any platform. Then I started educating him. I said, look, in that event, there were 400 people. There are people in that event that, number one, they're CEOs. They have birthdays coming up. They have born houses coming up. They have many different events, marriages coming up. That is where you create contacts for yourself as an artist. I intentionally wanted to expose you. I intentionally wanted to do, as I was asking him, I intentionally wanted to take two sort of guys who are singing to the event of my plan to expose them to my network. When he did that, I reached out to the next guy, Gaspar V, the guy who came and performed. I said, hey man, I have an event coming up. He said, anything for you. I said, where are you? I'm in Yaoundé. That same day, he left Yaoundé, came back to Douala to perform. And he even have more performing time. I didn't want to call him first because he was performing more than the guy who was asking me money. The guy came, I think it was Terence that asked Terence to give him money, give him some money for his transport. He said, boss, just give me just transport. Just perform at your stage, I'm okay. I'll get contact. Those were his words. That's somebody going to go places. He was willing to go through that affordable loss just so he can get something he doesn't have. You are still a startup guy. You have not, in a year, you have not performed on 2 marriages, 2 common birthdays. Nobody has called you. I'm calling to come and perform. You tell me, and you're even my student in high school, you are telling me that, boss, how much are you going to pay? I know it's minimum is 100,000 francs. I was planning to pay, of course, planning to give you something that I could just come and perform for free now. No, I was planning to give you something. You live in Douala, it doesn't cost you more than 2.5 to come to that place. I'm willing to give you times 10 of that. Just say thank you for coming. This guy goes to Yaoundé for whatever he was doing there, but he's based in Douala normally. He left Yaoundé that same day. He's okay, boss, I'll be at that event tomorrow morning. And that was how he showed up. Did he build contacts? Oh, yes. Like 2 weeks after, he kept telling me, hey, boss, there's this guy I made at your contact, and this is what we're doing right now. This is what we're doing right now. I said, well done, good job, good for you. Take advantage of it. You see, he went through affordable loss and has been able to make more money and take his career to a next level because he contacted different people who he can now perform at their birthday parties, marriages, whatever company events, and so on. They were CEOs in that hall that organized business events. You see, some of us are guilty here of that. You're still a startup, but there are things you arrogantly refuse to do because you're claiming a lot of things. But again, remember, there's a stage where you cannot go through affordable loss because you now have more customers to serve and you can actually make a choice. But remember, make a choice with humility and respect. Don't make a choice because you're claiming that you're big. God can still take that success away from you. What will you do? When you're making a choice, when somebody calls for an event, even till now, the way I tell them that I will not be able to be there, they'll always come next time and invite me again. Oh, boss, are you free now? Can I come? It's important. Always maintain relationships. Even when you're going through affordable loss or when you want to skip the affordable loss stage at your higher, when you have grown as a person. So learn the principle of affordable loss, avoid all or nothing mentality at your startup stage, okay? It's going to help you a lot. So when you have this affordable loss principle, when you embark on something, on a project or whatever, if it works and you make profit, fine, you praise God. If it doesn't work, also be happy and praise God because focus on the lesson. When you're bringing in play the affordable loss principle, when you lose money, you don't look at it as failure, look at it as lessons. At the startup stage, there are certain failures you go through so that you can live to fight another day. But somebody who has all for all or nothing mentality, they just reject totally. Like, for example, we're using Nelly's example. She can come and serve us at the event, and she now say, you know what, yes, I'm going to make it at a loss, but you know what, I will do this at a loss so I live to fight another day. But some people, they will say all or nothing mentality. They don't come and serve at all. They don't have new customers. The business ends up dying because it has no exposure. So they don't live to fight another day. That's the mentality. If some of you just practice this affordable loss principle just for a few months, you'll be amazed at how much open doors you will experience in your business. So you can even give testimonies of how you have been able to serve for free in certain areas, and it opened you up to opportunities. It's also a training ground for you. How do you want big people to trust you when you don't have a track record? There are some people that before they trust you at the top, you need to prove a track record. Look, this is where I'm coming from. You see, before I can serve you like this, I have served at this level. Many times I used to give an example how I spoke in churches, local Janki groups, and women's group, youth group, and all of that in Kumbu. That was a track record that you used to rise to the top, to build that trust. Nobody trusts empty mouth, empty noise. Like I always say in business, when you're talking in business, please avoid saying I will. I will doesn't show credibility. I will doesn't show proof of result. Avoid saying I will. I am planning to know. Use I have with numbers. That's what builds credibility and close deals and make people to trust you. You see, Nili Kadawe trying to close a deal to cater for 1,000 people, and she's saying, you know, I have been planning, I've been working so hard buying equipment. I'm planning that when I see an event for 1,000 people, I will do this. Nobody will trust you 1,000. Nobody will. But if you say, you know what, for the last 2 months, last 3 months, last 6 months, I have served in 2 birthday parties of 300 people. I have served in a seminar of 400 people, and this. Now, that is how you build credibility. And some of this data that you're going to use will be because you served people with the principle of affordable loss in play, so that you can get data you use to make more money. I shared with you guys my experience of like my African Development Bank consulting job that I got. It was as a result. It was as a result of the current facilitation I'm doing with the Obama Foundation. It's a volunteer position that I applied for. But just to have that brand on my CV that I am doing a project with Obama Foundation changed a lot about my portfolio and personality. It now opened me up to better deals that are paying better. You see, that was an affordable loss. I'm using my internet, I'm using my time, I'm using my laptop, everything for free to serve for free. That's an affordable loss I'm willing to go through so I can get what I need for my next level. Who can you serve for free at an affordable loss and advance your life and your business? You see? Thank God somebody is confirming that they have lost customers because they choose to let the customers go, even though they could have made some money if they accepted their rate. Oh, yes. Sometimes you accept their rate, and also it is how you accept. You see, like for example, many times, let me show you how I also put in play the affordable loss principle. Another way that I do affordable loss is when I accept, let's say you invite me to come and speak in an event, right? And the event is, let's say I'm supposed to charge that event normally for 200,000 francs or 300,000 francs, and you offer me 50,000 francs. And if I see that it's an event that is good for my brand, is I'll meet some people will see me, that they can hire me for trainings and all of that, right? I will accept. Let me show you an example of, I will accept, then I will issue a receipt. Let me show you an example of a receipt that I issued to someone. I will accept that. Like, for example, this is a coaching program. This is a coaching client. So from what she wanted, was a few times coaching sessions, which is what, when we bargain and all of that, I started from a particular place. And I said, okay, we ended up sitting at 100,000 francs for the coaching session. That's what we said. But I think I was asking more that for me to do this particular coaching, it will not cost less than 500,000 francs above. But she could only afford 100,000 francs at that time. You see, They will agree. And now state, okay, I will give you a receipt and I'll make you know that, look, I have given you 40%. I'll make you know that I have given you a discount. You see, I make sure you know I'm doing discount 60%, how much I let you know, and all of that, right? And we talk about it and we agree. So I go through the affordable laws, but I make you see, I make you understand the real value of what they're paying for. You go through, you experience the real value of what they're paying for, and I give you an invoice so you understand it. So sometimes you can accept a client's offer, but there's a way you accept it that you still place value on you. You still place value on your service so that they don't minimize your offer. They don't minimize the work you're doing. They don't feel like if you think you accepted on this at this price, it means it is not, they can disrespect you the next time. No. Make sure if you're accepting at their price, do it professionally in a way they see some professionalism and put some respect to what you have offered to do for them. So that is the third principle when it comes to starting a business with what you have. Let's do an exercise for this. Create your only statements. I call it a create your only statement. Now, this is what it means. It means that I want you to look at your business and I want you to complete this statement with your business. We are the only brand or business that does this and that. This is a very important thing to get right in building a business, in your startup business. Every good startup should have unique value proposition. And this is the best way to do it. So in your discussion, you can always fit this statement in your discussion. Let's say, for example, I can say, at CosDev Group, we are the only business that does this and this and this and that. So it's called your brand statement. It's a very important statement in your branding. So all of you that are into business, whatever you're doing, either as an individual, professional, whatever you're doing, I want you to complete this statement. Write it down. We are the only brand that, you now put what you guys do that is unique from other brands, that is unique from other businesses. So what do you look into consideration here? Are you guys better? How are you better than other businesses? Are you guys faster? How are you faster from other businesses? Are you guys cheaper? Are you guys more efficient? Are you guys using new technology? What makes you different? And how would you say it efficiently as far as that startup is concerned? What makes your startup different? And how would you say it differently or efficiently as far as your startup is concerned? Yes, those already in business, please complete this statement and share in the chat box. I'm waiting. We are the only business, we are the only brand that, they said PPA, we are the only community that organizes morning school that starts from 4 a.m. to teach professionals and entrepreneurs how to dominate businesses and run thriving careers. You see, you do that. We are the only brand because we are different in what we do. Morning schools, we do different activities. We do read books and diagnose the books, use the book for coaching sessions and all of that. You see, we break it down. That's what makes it different as all of that. Now, look at your own business. Look at yourself as a professional. If you're an independent professional, you're a photographer, you're an MC, you're a journalist, whatever that you do, what makes you different? We are the only brand. I am the only professional that does this, this, and that. And as I said, look at it from a good business makes lives better, makes things faster, provide value at a cheaper price, or is more innovative in the way things are done, etc. Okay, so what makes you different and how would you say it in a very efficient manner? Right? So just imagine that you're talking on radio, you're talking with friends, you're talking to family, or anytime somebody asks you how much, or in the comment section, you post a product in the comment sections and people are commenting, oh, wow, nice, all of that. And you start doing community management work there. You take every comment. You say, oh, thank you so much. And I want to tell you that we are the only brand in Cameroon that does this and that. When somebody reads that comment, there's a way it sinks deep into their spirit. There's a way it increases their decision to buy from you. Okay? Be very intentional in your sales conversation. It's very important in your startup, at your startup stage. Number four, you need to practice focusing on activities you can control. The fourth principle, when it concerns building the process to starting a business with what you have. Principle number 4, focus on activities you can control. Yes. Focus on activities you can control. Very important in business. Focus on activities you can control. At the startup stage, many a times you see a startup entrepreneur crying that, oh, I'm doing my best, sales are not going, people are not buying and all of that. At some point, you'll be complaining people are not buying. Meanwhile, you're still too young. Nobody even knows you yet. They are crying of poor sales. It is not your job to cry for poor sales. It is your job to make sure that every day of your life, as long as you're a startup entrepreneur, you are doing what you need to do. You are marketing, you are posting on Facebook, you are doing flyers, you are doing the best you can to make sure that as more people as possible know what you're doing. I was talking to a startup entrepreneur last week, and he was complaining about, oh, I'm not seeing the success I expect. I said, how long have you been existing? He said 6 months. And I asked him, sir, tell me, can you categorically tell me that for the 6 months you have been operating, can you categorically tell me that at least 2,000 people in your community right now knows that you exist and know what you do? He was looking at me like that. You're crying about what you cannot control. Meanwhile, what you can control, you are not doing it. I asked him, have you shared up to 500 flyers in your life about your business? He was looking at me like that. I asked him, let's go to your Facebook. For the last 10 days, every day, have you been posting about this business? He was looking at me like that. You see the problem with entrepreneurs? You leave what you can control and you carry your big head and you're crying about what you cannot control because of even your laziness in doing what you can control. Some of you here are like that. You are crying, oh, this is not happening in my business. This is not happening in my business. Meanwhile, the things that the activities that you should be doing every day, which has the power to change your business, you are lazy at doing them. You are very lazy at doing them, but you are seriously crying. Oh, sales are not great. My business is not great. Oh, this is not great. Meanwhile, the activities that should control that business to grow, which you have power over them, you are not doing it. Small punctuality for you to get up in the morning and be in the office every day at 7 o'clock for the next 30 days. You cannot do it. You're lazing around. You go to the shop, you allow your friends to come and sit with you at your shop and you're gossiping and you're only talking about what has happened in the past. Instead of sitting in your shop and be marketing, snapping pictures, posting on Facebook and groups and marketing so you get more customers, you allow friends to come and join you and you form a council of gossiping experts about things that will not help your business. Focus on activities that you can control. It's very important at the startup level. Don't worry about things out of your control. Focus on the things within your control. Like in business, I always say, you cannot force a human being to come and buy from you. You are not the Holy Spirit to touch the heart of a human being. Your job is to be good at your marketing. Your job is to be efficient at your marketing. Your job is to make sure that your branding is good. Your job is to make sure you have good products. Your job is to make sure you are there on time to serve customers. Do what you can do as a human. That's what I always ask people when they come. I think I asked that to a mentee yesterday. She was saying that it was not a good girl, all of that. I said, it's okay. If only you did everything humanly possible at your level to have a good week. If you did that, I'm okay with it. But if you are telling me that you had a bad week and the week was not productive or resourceful, you did not produce good results, and you are also lazy, you are part of that means you are hand day inside the bad result, then I have nothing to tell you. You are responsible for it. But if you are telling me you had a bad week, it was not productive as you expected, you didn't make the sales you wanted, and all of this, and you are telling me that in all of this, you did your utmost best. In all of this, you woke up at 4 a.m. every day to study. In all of this, you are at the office at 7 a.m. on time. With all of this, you did all the marketing you planned to do. With all of this, you did everything you have control over. Then it was not a bad week. There's going to be a ripple effect. And this is one thing I like about business. If you work hard this week without a result, you would see the ripple effect of your hard work next week or next month. It always comes back to you. Nothing, no hard work goes for nothing in business. I can categorically tell you that. You can work hard today and it pays you 1 year from now. No hard work goes for. There's always a ripple economic effect of every genuine hard work that you put in your business. So stop crying that, oh, this as that. Focus on doing what you can control at your level as a human being and as an entrepreneur. Believe that the future is unknowable, but as long as you are not sure of what the future holds, there are beautiful things for tomorrow. A true entrepreneur believes that their success tomorrow totally depends on their hard work today. A true entrepreneur believes that their success tomorrow, their future possibilities tomorrow, totally depends on their ability to do the best they can do regarding the activities that they can control. That is what an entrepreneur will do. So never forget principle number 4 when it comes to starting a business with what you have. Focus on activities you can control and do your best every day on those activities. While you're patient for your startup to grow, make sure you're practicing value-creating activities every day. Make sure you're putting in all your best in the activities that you can control so that tomorrow you can enjoy the business that will change your life. All right, people, that is it for today on the practical process to starting a business with what you have. I hope you are challenged, you are blessed, and you are stretched to go start that business. For those who are still to start, for those who have started already, I hope you got some new things to add into what is already going on so you become better. And for those already better, I hope you've got some new things to add so they can become best. And for those who are best, we have got new things to add so you become exceptional. There's always a better place than where you are. Keep on seeking for more. All right, people, that's it for today. Let us chit chat, questions, and then we'll run up.